breakthrough shows that it's almost impossible for most people to lose weight unless they know the secret to controlling their blood sugar. And this news comes from an unlikely source. Researchers at Newcastle University who were working to lower blood sugar for diabetics discovered that whether or not you have diabetes, high blood sugar switches on your body's fat storage mode, turning virtually everything you eat into fat. So if you've been drenching yourself in sweat with exhausting exercise and starving yourself with boring diets and you still can't lose weight, then this medical breakthrough could be the key to finally melting away your extra fat. Because high blood sugar, also called hyperglycemia, is more common than you might think. It affects 1 in 5 people in the US alone, and 25% don't even realize they have it. If you have any of the following symptoms, it could be high blood sugar that's keeping you from losing weight: feeling overly tired, frequently being thirsty, a rapid heartbeat, dry skin, having a hard time concentrating, or shortness of breath. If any of those sound like you, then this new research could be your answer for fast, safe, natural weight loss. And I should warn you, high blood sugar is more dangerous than we realized. It turns out it's behind some of the most deadly diseases in the world. More on that in a second. In this short presentation, I'll share how this new research helped me control my blood sugar, reverse my type 2 diabetes, and lose 19 pounds in 3 weeks. As you pay close attention, keep in mind that both type 2 diabetes and being overweight have the same root cause: high blood sugar. When I used this medical breakthrough to lower my blood sugar, it reversed my diabetes and it made my extra fat disappear. So anywhere I mention reversing type 2 diabetes, I could have also mentioned losing weight, since both happen thanks to this new medical breakthrough. Now, are you ready to discover the connection between your high blood sugar and how you can lose 19 pounds in 3 weeks? Because the presentation is starting in 3, 2, 1. We have to amputate your legs today. That's what the doctor told me as I lay in a hospital bed. The blinding fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, my nostrils filled with that bleach hospital smell, overpowering me in the cramped, chilly room. My wife squeezed my hand, tears streaming down her cheeks. "No," she cried, he can't live the rest of his life in a wheelchair." "Without the amputation," he told me, "you'll be dead within a year." I couldn't believe it. My passion had always been hiking, and my wife and I had dreamed of one day hiking the Appalachian Trail. But 4 years ago, the doctors were going to put me under anesthesia and cut off my legs, leaving nothing but worthless stumps. All because I was one of 115 million Americans with high blood sugar, or diabetes, the disease that ran rampant through my body, thrashing the blood vessels in my limbs until it practically cut off the circulation to my legs. The doctor made it clear that if he didn't amputate, my legs would rot like spoiled meat. So what happened? And why am I telling you this? Well, I'll answer the second question first. My name is David Andrews, and I'm telling you this because I don't want you to go through the same horrifying experience that I did. Now, when all this happened, I didn't know all that much about this debilitating and potentially deadly disease. But now, I've done my homework, and in my research, I've uncovered some eye-opening, even shocking facts. But I've also found hope for folks like me, folks who have high blood sugar or diabetes. Now, a lot of folks act like I did when I got diagnosed with my disease. We let the statistics go in one ear and out the other. But this is important, because every single person represented in these statistics is someone like you and me. A mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a son or a daughter, grandparents, friends, neighbors, co-workers, loved ones, you and me. We don't think we're going to become a statistic, but that's what this horrible disease does to folks like us. Like the stat I was being faced with that day at the hospital. Did you know that every day over 200 people with diabetes have a limb amputated? That's over 70,000 per year. And even more distressing, 1 in 4 didn't know that they had diabetes until it was too late. But worst of all, amputation, well, it isn't even the most dangerous part of uncontrolled blood sugar. You may or may not know high blood sugar also leads to Alzheimer's, dementia, heart failure, and cancer. You see, when you have excess glucose, your blood becomes a nutrition-packed smoothie for cancer tumors. It helps them grow at deadly speeds. That's why the Harvard Medical School Cancer Center has warned that up to 80% of all cancer is at least partially caused by imbalanced blood glucose and insulin. Oh, but it doesn't end there. A study published in the medical journal Neurology found that high blood sugar almost doubled the risk of dementia. Your glucose-packed blood constantly rushes through your brain, adding to the buildup that causes Alzheimer's and other types of dementia. Now, when I read that, I had trouble not imagining it happening inside my own brain. As I kept reading about my disease, it only got worse. One study showed that if you've got high blood sugar, your risk of heart attack is 11 times higher than the average person. Now, at my age, I already had to worry about heart attacks, and it was terrifying to learn that my risk was so much higher than I thought. Another found that high blood sugar increases your risk of having a stroke by 150%, and during a stroke, diabetes makes it even harder for blood to get to your brain. For most people, a stroke has about a 17% chance of being fatal, but if you're diabetic or have high blood sugar, a stroke is almost a 100% death sentence. I knew type 2 diabetes was bad, but it wasn't until I found these stats that I realized just how deadly of a situation I was in. So if high blood sugar and type 2 diabetes are so deadly, why do most doctors prescribe treatments that only manage the symptoms while ignoring the root cause? Especially when new research has revealed the real cause of diabetes and high blood sugar and provided a simple solution to jumpstart your body's blood glucose regulation system. The short answer is that in the last few years, 11 pharmaceutical giants have been caught bribing hospitals and doctors to prescribe their medicine, regardless of the best treatment. But I'll share those details with you in just a second. First, I want to tell you the story of my own diabetes battle and tell you the story of how Dr. Roy Taylor solved that decades-old medical mystery and changed diabetes treatment as we know it forever, and how you can use his scientific discoveries to restore your healthy blood sugar, effortlessly lose weight, and even reverse your type 2 diabetes. This new solution works by jump-starting your pancreas, the part of your body that keeps your blood sugar levels healthy, keeping away insulin resistance. With this pancreas jumpstart solution that I'm about to show you, you'll be able to control your blood sugar and reverse your type 2 diabetes, sharply reducing or even eliminating your need for medication. Plus, you'll be able to easily lose up to 19 pounds in 3 weeks, and you'll keep it off since you're solving the root problem behind that extra weight. When you watch this video to the very end, I'm also going to show you the easiest, most relaxing trick I use to instantly lower my blood sugar after I enjoy something sweet. Because I'm a sucker for a can of Coke or a bowl of vanilla ice cream and apple pie. It isn't some gimmick you see on the internet, like drinking gallons of water or soaking your food in vinegar. It's just cold, hard facts discovered by medical researchers to keep your blood sugar down for up to 24 hours. Because when you jumpstart your pancreas, you'll be able to do it without losing your favorite foods, without getting drenched in sweat and gasping for breath from exhausting workouts, and without needing impossible levels of self-control. But I'll warn you, the $245 billion pharmaceutical industry is making a fortune with their insanely priced insulin shots and oral medications, which come packed with painful side effects and only help manage the symptoms of your high blood sugar or diabetes, leaving you on diabetes life support until you die. You should know that in late 2014, the federal government slapped diabetes medication manufacturer Sanofi with fraud charges for bribing hospitals and doctors millions of dollars to push their medication on innocent people with diabetes or high blood sugar like you and me. And they're just one of over 40 pharmaceutical companies who have faced similar fraud charges in the last 10 years. Right now, Big Pharma's profits go up whenever someone's high blood sugar progresses to pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. But once the word spreads about jump-starting your pancreas to control your blood sugar, Big Pharma is going to be out billions of dollars. So you can imagine the fraudster CEOs aren't happy that you're watching this. Because once you know these secrets, you're only weeks away from reversing your type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, and for some people, it's as quick as 11 days. It doesn't matter if you've had your disease for decades. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if your blood sugar levels are sky high. Just imagine, once you discover how to jumpstart your pancreas, which I'll show you in this presentation, you'll have the secret to easy, lasting fat loss. And when you get control of your high blood sugar before it progresses to diabetes, You'll be free from annoying insulin shots and painful finger pricks. You'll say goodbye to medicines that make you fat and nauseous. You'll stop worrying about early death, amputations, and risky surgeries. Your painful, tingling neuropathy in your feet, your hands, and everywhere else in your body will just fade away. You'll remove the stress of wondering when your vision will completely fail, leaving you blind for the rest of your life. You'll break free from the anxiety of constantly monitoring your blood sugar, watching jealously as other people eat your favorite foods. Oh, and you'll never again feel like a burden on your family and friends. Just like Andrew from Battleground, Washington, who said, "Your presentation showed me the simple solution to my high blood sugar, and you had the science to back it up. My doctor was shocked when I told him that I hadn't needed an insulin shot for weeks. He had to test my blood sugar himself to believe it. And you should have seen his face when he saw I'd lost 31 pounds. The secrets I learned in this presentation gave me back my freedom and my love for life." And there's Doug from Salt Lake City, Utah, who said, "Just the thought of vacation or even a day on the town made me feel exhausted. Diabetes made me feel like a prisoner in my own life. I'm so glad that I found this scientifically proven way to reverse my type 2 diabetes." Everybody with type 2 diabetes needs to watch this video right now so they can fix their high blood sugar and reverse their diabetes in just a few weeks. Listen, it's not your fault you have this disease, and it's not an issue of being skinny or fat. Once you know the real cause of type 2 diabetes, you'll sharply reduce or even eliminate your need for medication, and you'll have the key to lowering your blood sugar for easy weight loss, which you can imagine will put a dent in the fraudulent profits of those 11 pharmaceutical companies. So turn off your cell phone, grab a pen and paper. You're about to discover how to destroy your type 2 diabetes. First, let me introduce myself. My name is David Andrews. I'm 51. I have a wife and 2 children, and I'm the head chef at a 5-star restaurant near Washington, D.C. Now, I'm going to share my story with you, and honestly, it's a little embarrassing, but it's worth it if it'll help you get free from your disease. A few years ago, I almost lost everything. I'd been suffering from high blood sugar and type 2 diabetes for over a decade. I always had to worry about what foods would send my blood sugar off the charts. Heck, I became a chef because I loved food, and now I was stuck eating bland, boring meals. But even that didn't stop me from packing on the pounds no matter what I did. It seemed like my gut just got bigger, bigger, and bigger because my high blood sugar kept my body in fat storage mode. I was a burden on my family, and I was terrified my kids would end up with my disease. Every single day I had to prick my finger to test my blood sugar, then give myself painful insulin shots. You know, I was spending about $2,000 per month on insulin. I tried the other diabetes medications that my doctor recommended, like metformin, Actos, or Amaryl. That was a disaster because I emptied my bank account and just about killed myself taking them. Metformin and Actos made me feel nauseous all the time, and Amaryl just made me fat. Plus, a study in the New England Journal of Medicine linked several diabetes medicines to a 64% higher risk of heart attack or cardiovascular death. Even when I spent a week at the beach with my family, I couldn't relax. I was always worrying about my blood sugar and whether I could get back to the cooler if I needed my insulin. My type 2 diabetes was emptying my wallet, destroying my body, and just making my life miserable. I felt trapped. You've probably felt that way before, haven't you? Terrified that your diabetes is going to make your life worse and worse until it finally decides to kill you? But for me, it was about to get even worse. I'll never forget that day in my restaurant's kitchen. I was understaffed on a Saturday evening, the busiest shift of the week. My stress was through the roof. My heart was pounding. In the kitchen, it felt hotter and more humid than ever. I received an order for a medium rare steak, and then my knees went weak. The next thing I knew, I woke up in the hospital, seeing my wife and 2 teenage kids sitting around me, their eyes red and puffy from crying. The room, it smelled like cleaning liquid, and I heard the steady beeping of the heart monitor. When my wife saw I was awake, she threw her arms around me and then called for the doctor. My son and daughter looked at me like they were watching their daddy die. And I guess they were. The doctor came in and explained what happened. "You went into a diabetic coma," he said. "A non-ketotic hyperglycemic hypersmolar coma. Your blood glucose level was at 1174. One of the other chefs had called 911, and some quick-thinking paramedics and ER doctors had saved my life. If I'd been alone when it happened, I'd be dead." The doctor cleared his throat like he was nervous about telling me something even worse. "Because your diabetes is so advanced," he said, "we'll need to remove your legs. I've scheduled the surgery for this afternoon. It's every person with high blood sugar's worst fear, amputation." No, said my wife, absolutely not. I'm sorry, the doctor insisted. We can give him another 10 years.